Hello everybody, welcome back to another design video. In this one, it's going to be a bit weird. We're going to be doing a bit more flashy designs because we're doing freestyle designs. Now, I wanted to do different cars and different styles and I was like, I don't really know how to do it on. But thankfully, one of my subscribers, hopefully, he commented on one of my videos. Now, I don't know how to pronounce his name because his name kind of looks like you smash your head against the keyboard. But hey, I'm not going to judge, so I'm just going to put his name here. Awesome, there's a shout out. So today we're going to be doing freestyle designs. First of all, I want to say thank you so much for 800 subscribers. We're over 800, it's amazing. I want to get 1k by the end of the year. So smash that sub if you have not subbed already and you love my videos. If you like them too, even if you don't like my videos, subscribe anyway because then you can hate on me more and I don't mind that. So yeah, here we go. So we're going to be doing 5 designs today. It's going to be Dominus, it's going to be Breakout, Big Pog. Let's get started. So this first design is a kind of revisit of an old design I did like way back for a design competition. You can also see it on my channel as well, which was the neon lights design competition. And it's a Discotheque Dominus, which I think is pretty cool because I think Discotheque is super underrated wheel. And the parallax mystery decal that we're using is also super underrated. So let's just get into the design right here. So we are using a parallax decal pog. We're using a normal Dominus. Now, if you want to paint this Dominus, you can. If you want to use a painted one, I just did it without because it doesn't really contribute too much to the design. But if you want to use a sky blue and for the orange side a pink one, that's perfectly fine. For the decal, we're using a parallax, we're not using a heat wave. I just do that because I don't have a parallax, but you can get it very cheap. For the paints, we are using a normal sky blue for the primary, and we are using a purple for the secondary. It's like a neon purple. It's a bit brighter on the card than in the tab, so if you think this color's wrong, trust me, it works. For the orange side, we're using a pink, like a darker pink, for the primary, and for the secondary we're using the light, I call it like yogurt pink because it looks like yogurt, but hey, that's just me. For the wheels we're using pink Discotheques for the orange side, and for the blue side we're using cobalt Discotheques. Now, don't let the tab fool you, I'm not using tunicas and zombas, don't worry about it. It's all Bacchus mod stuff because I don't have it. But if you want to get these wheels, bear in mind, they are the cobalt version. I know it looks like sky blue, but it isn't. The sky blue version looks like this, and it's without the pink bits around it, and the cobalt has the pink bits around it, so it's very important that you get the cobalt if you want to make this car exactly. It's also very confusing because the sky blue zombas actually have the pink bits around them too, so I don't know how they color-coded that, but it's the cobalt Discotheques. Cobalt Discotheques, so yeah. For the boost, I'm just using a standard sky blue, and on the orange side, we're just using a pink. No one saw that, we're just using a pink, it's all good. If you want to use data stream, you can. Data stream works perfectly with this car, it looks also really nice, but it has a really annoying boost sound. If I can find it real quick, then you'll know why I'm not using it. But hey, if you prefer to use it, go for it. I mean, I don't really care. It's just a suggestion that I always bring. Where is it? Here it is. That's all you're going to be hearing the whole time when you boost. So I decided just to go for like a normal, normal cool little standard. Or if you want to, you can go with a different boost, whatever you kind of prefer. For the trails, we are using a sky blue Discotheque on the blue side, which works really well. You can also use a pink one if you so want, because on the other side, on the orange side, we're using a pink Discotheque to match, because the dark pink matches the primary and the light pink matches the wheels and the secondary, so it works out. But you can also use the pink one for the blue side, or a purple one if you have that, or if you can only get that, then you can use those too. It all works, it all matches. Now let's get on to the second design. So for this next design, it's a design that you've maybe seen before. I kind of recycled it from some stuff I've seen, but as you can see, it's probably good that I recycled it because this car looks amazing. This is a titanium white Dominus Afterlife design with nice matching wheels. On the blue side we have a super dark primary, so it almost looks black. I mean, you can't do black primaries on this car yet, but maybe, who knows, maybe that'll change. But it's all gold, it's all white, it's all Egyptian, so let's get right into it. For the car we are using a titanium white Dominus. Now I hope you guys who made this design, I think pretty much everyone who's a Dominus main got the titanium white Dominus, right? That's just like a given. But if you don't have it, hey, you can also use this design with a black Afterlife and maybe like an unpainted Dominus, but that's just a tip on the side. For the decal we're using a titanium white Afterlife. Now I put the Suji there because if I take off the Afterlife real quick, you guys can see that the Suji looks also just as good. And on the blue side it also looks pretty cool. I just like the Afterlife a lot more because I think it has a lot, like it covers a lot more of the car, and it also brings all three colors really nicely onto the whole car instead of just being like on the side and a little bit here and a little bit on the top. It's like the whole car, so that's why I think it looks really cool. For the paints we're going to be using a super dark blue, and we're going to be using the grassy paint finish to give it that dark look. You can also use something else if you don't have the grassy, but the grassy is a really nice paint finish to have, because instead of using sun damage where your car looks kind of weird, you use the grassy and it looks even darker. And also, even if you do see the grassy texture, like here on the side for example, it actually doesn't look bad. I actually don't think it's that bad, so that's why I'm using this. For the secondary we're using a anodized, and we're using like a cream color. If you go more orange then the car looks more orangey, so it doesn't really match the wheels too well, and I think it also just looks kind of, yeah, orange and not really the gold that we're wanting, so that's why I put it 1 or 2 higher. For the orange side we are using a dark yellow or like a gold color to match the wheels. And we are using anodized pearl on that because if we just use the normal anodized it goes a bit brighter, so I used the anodized pearl to mix with the black glossy paint finish on the secondary, because if you use anodized pearl it picks up the second color like the secondary. So if I do it there here on pink, then you can see like the pink blends in with the gold, so if you use black it just makes the gold really dark, and I think that looks really cool. So yeah. For the wheels, you might remember these wheels from my budget episode, but these are titanium white Troikers and they do look pretty cool. The main reason I picked this wheel is because the gold and the white, of course, but also these wheels are really cool because on the treads you see here, so on the treads of the wheels there's also the white lines, so it just really blends in well. If you don't have titanium white Troikers, they're pretty cheap, but if you do want to use other wheels, titanium white Zombas work as well if you have those, or any type of black wheel work as well, or any type of white wheel, so that's just free choice. For the boost, I'm equipping sparkles because it's all gold, which works really well with both sides, but you can also use a titanium white boost if you have one, that also works well, or a black boost if you have one. All of those work perfectly fine. For the trail, I'm using a titanium white friction. You can also use a black boost or a golden boost if you have something like that. It all just works, so any of those 3 colors you can equip the boost and the trail how you feel like. If you have any of those, it will look great, trust me on this. So this was the second car, which was the golden Afterlife decal, or the sarcophagus. And yeah, let's get on to our third and final Dominus design. So our third design is a bit of a weird one. I'm using lime. So this car is really cool if you like having a same looking car for both sides. And it's also inspired by an old design I did. I used to do kind of flashy stuff, and I'm moving on to like tryhard designs. That's why mostly on my channel is just tryhard stuff. But hey, we're busting it all out today, so I thought, hey, why not do this one? So this is a super bright lime car. We're using a lime Dominus for this one. And we're using the snakeskin decal, which is now even easier to get because it's part of the non-crate series, so you can even trade up for it, try to get it, or you can trade for it, which is pretty easy. For the colors, we are using a bright green and a yellow secondary, And for the orange team, we're using a yellow primary with a light green secondary to really try to get those two colors to look like the lime together, which works very well in my opinion. For the wheels, we're using lime chakrams. Now the chakrams are a very old wheel and I think they look pretty cool, especially on this car because the Dominus has certain lines around it and the chakrams really fit well with that kind of style. For the boost, we're using Zeno Splash, which is a very old boost. And my friend used to use this all the time, and he also had lime chakrams, so that's kind of where I'm getting the idea from. It's just a cool boost. If you have like a lime standard or any other boost you want to use, go ahead and use that. This is just like a cool recommendation from me because it also looks kind of like snake venom. That's kind of how I always thought of it, so it's a snaky boost for a very snaky car. For the trail, we're using a lime Tachyon 3, but you can use any trail you really want to that fits if it's a lime trail. I think also I saw a different trail that you could use as well, which was up here somewhere. Somewhere up here. Oh yeah, EKG, if you also have that, you can also use that. That works pretty well with the car. Right, for this one we're going all out. Let's go, we have the breakout and we're going all out with this one. Technically isn't really a breakout design because this is all using, it's using a mystery decal, so you can use it for any car, so it's kind of a turn one, but I think it looks cool on the breakout, so hey, here we go. We have a Labyrinth and Demonics design. Now this looks really funky and neon, so if you really want to stand out on the pitch, this is something for you. The green side, or the blue side in my case, doesn't really look, it looks cool, looks nice, you know, it's like, oh okay, that's pretty cool. But on the orange side, on the red side, it looks very cool. So that's a cool little combo you can use. I'll just run you through it. So using a breakout, using a crimson for the red side and a forest green for the blue side. As a decal, we're using the Labyrinth mystery decal. Now this decal is pretty cheap. I think it's like 200 credits right now. So hey, if you want a cool mystery decal for 200 credits, go for it. It's like 200 or 300 or something like that. So for the primary paint finish, we're using a dark green to match the forest green. And on the other side, we're using a red. I should have used the bright red. I'm just noticing that now. Or you can also use the dark red. Doesn't really make too much of a difference, but yeah. So for the Labyrinth, it is only one color, so the secondary color doesn't do anything, as you can see. So that's what it is. For the wheels, we're using Demonics, which are Rocket Pass wheels. They are the inverted versions, so the special edition versions. If you do not have these wheels, don't worry, because you can also use, if I can find them, you can also use irradiators, so this works fine too. Let me just use on the red car, so that works too. And a lot of inverted wheels, like for example the tournament wheels work really well, but if you do want to use the tournament wheels, I'd recommend using a darker red because it fits better to these wheels. For the boost, we're using a crimson and a standard green, so just standard boosts like always. And for the trail, I use Lightspeed Black just to match with the whole inverted theme and the black main color of the car. So yeah, we're moving on to the last car now. It's also going to be with tournament items because it's like, hey, you know, use some of the tournament items. For all the people grinding tournaments, they got to have some cool cars as well. And I think especially freestylers, for this one, it'll look cool and flashy. So I hope you guys enjoy this last car design coming up right now. And now for the last car, which people aren't going to be too happy about because, hey, look at me, I'm using all titanium items. But I think this is a car that's really cool. If you have Bacchus mod and you're a freestyler, I would definitely recommend doing this car because I've been using it for a while now as well, even though I'm not even a freestyler. I don't even use the breakout, I'm like an Octane main. But I've been using the Octane with this on Bacchus mod, so I've been just using the same car but with titanium Octane because I think it looks so cool. So if you have these items, fucking well done to you. But if you don't, use Bacchus mod, or I'll also name similar items that you can use for this design as well. Now, let's get into it. We're using a titanium white breakout. If you don't have a titanium white breakout, don't worry. You can just use a normal one, that's fine. For the decal, we're using the partly cloudy decal, which I think was a Rocket Pass item way back, I think in season 2, if I remember correctly, or in one of the earlier seasons, but it's an older item. I think you should be able to find some on the market, but I'm not sure how expensive they are. But this is a definite must on this design. So if you don't have this, decal, then the design's not really going to work. But hey, if you're using the Octane, you can do this design with a Shisa as well, seeing as it has clouds on it too. Or any clouds, similar designs that you think looks like clouds, then you can use that too. So for the colors, it's super simple. We're using a bright blue and we're using a white. And for the red side, we're using a red and a white. That's it. That's all the colors. No paint finishes because the party cloud is like a mystery decal where you can't adjust the paint finishes. For the wheels, we're using titanium white Zombas. Now we are using these because they're very cloudy and they look like puffy clouds, in my opinion. Also, they're all white, so it looks cool as well. If you don't have these wheels, use any white wheels or any black wheels if you so feel like it. For the boost, we're using a Righteous Gale. This is the tournament boost that you get from opening cups, I think they're called. I am using the titanium white one. You don't need to, it just looks better. If you don't like the Righteous Gale because of the boost sound, you can also use a titanium white standard as well because it looks very similar. So all good there. For the trail, we're using a Righteous Gale, also in titanium white. As I said, you don't need it in titanium white. You can just use the normal one. It looks just as good. For the Gold Explosion, we're using a Righteous Gale titanium white too. Now, I do just want to show you guys this because it looks better in-game. So if we go into free play here, you can see like all the clouds and everything and the white wheels and the clouds on the car. And then all the puffy white stuff, white clouds coming out the back of it. So if you're like freestyling and you have just clouds coming out everywhere and everything's white, it just looks very, very cool, you know? So that's a cool little car. Also for cinematics, probably looks cool as hell as well. And yeah, if we score, we can see the titanium white Righteous Gale, which is also super cloudy and puffy, and I just love everything about this car, if you can't tell already. So yeah, that's the last car design for today. As I said, if you don't have any of these items, use Bacchus mod. Definitely use it for this car. I definitely recommend it because this car is cool as hell. And I hope you liked all the designs today. Leave a like, leave a sub. 1k subs till the end of the year. We can do this easy peasy. And I'll see you guys next time. And peace!